Perhaps the most well-known supervolcano in the world is the Yellowstone caldera. Located in the northwest corner of Wyoming, measuring a distance of about 55 by 72 kilometers. Over the past 2,100,000 years, the Yellowstone supervolcano erupted 3 times. The Huckleberry Ridge eruption, about 2.1 million years ago, which is the biggest eruption of the 3, releasing about 2,500 cubic kilometers of ignimbrite, which created the Island Park caldera and the Huckleberry Ridge tuff. The Mesa Falls eruption of about 1.3 million years ago, which is the smallest of the 3, with a volume of 280 cubic kilometers, which created the Henry's Fork caldera and the Mesa Falls tuff. And the last full-scale eruption of Yellowstone caldera, the Lava Creek eruption, approximately 640,000 years ago, which created the Yellowstone caldera and the Lava Creek tuff. As we have mentioned before, the Lava Creek eruption released about 1,000 cubic kilometers of ignimbrite. Ignimbrite is a variety of hardened tuff and is derived from the term fiery rock dust cloud, from Latin igni meaning fire and imbri meaning rain. To better visualize what the compressed volume of 1,000 cubic kilometers of rock, dust and volcanic ash looks like, we can compare the Lava Creek eruption with the size of familiar objects. The Golden Gate Bridge is about 2.7 kilometers long. To construct the compressed ejective volume of the Lava Creek eruption and visualize it as a cube, we need a side of 10 kilometers, which is about 3.7 times the size than the length of the Golden Gate Bridge. It's mind-boggling to imagine a 1,000 cubic kilometer ball of raining fire, incinerating every living thing in its proximity. But it's even more terrifying than that, because the ejective volume was released as a huge super eruption. Volcanic material such as ash was dispersed throughout the United States. This is a map showing the Lava Creek tuff ash bed. However, the word huge is relative when we are talking about the largest and most powerful super eruptions in the history of our planet. When magma in the mantle rises into the crust but is unable to break through it, and pressure builds in a large and growing magma pool until the crust is unable to contain the pressure, there will be a super eruption or the formation of a supervolcano. Large volume supervolcanic eruptions are also often associated with large igneous provinces, which can cover huge areas with lava and volcanic ash. These can cause long-lasting climate change, such as the triggering of small ice age and threatened species with extinction. Volcanic eruptions are classified using the VEI scale, short for Volcanic Explosivity Index, which is a logarithmic scale, meaning that the increase of 1 in VEI number is equivalent to a 10-fold increase in volume of erupted material. Within the last 132 million years, there have been about 40 megacolossal eruptions with a Volcanic Explosivity Index of 8. 30 of which occurred in the past 36 million years. The Toba eruption is one of them. That erupted around 74,000 years ago. The Toba caldera complex in North Sumatra comprises 4 overlapping volcanic craters that adjoin the Sumatran volcanic front at a 100 by 30 kilometers, making it the world's largest caldera of the Quaternary time period. The Toba event may have triggered a volcanic winter lasting up to a decade, and possibly started a global cooling episode lasting 1,000 years. A volcanic winter is a reduction in global temperatures caused by volcanic ash and droplets of sulfuric acid and water obscuring the sun, which in turn increases the reflection of solar radiation. Long-term cooling effects are primarily dependent on injection of sulfur gases into the stratosphere, where they undergo a series of reactions to create sulfuric acid, which can nucleate and form aerosols. Volcanic stratospheric aerosols have 2 effects in the cooling of the surface. They reflect solar radiation and also warm the stratosphere by absorbing terrestrial radiation. Some researchers have attributed the cause of population bottlenecks to volcanic winters. A population bottleneck is a sharp decrease in a species population, immediately followed by a period of great genetic divergence or differentiation among survivors. The Toba event may have been the cause of a genetic bottleneck in human evolution about 70,000 years ago. The youngest Toba eruption that occurred around 74,000 years ago at the site of present-day Lake Toba may have reduced the total human population to as few as 15,000. Some genetic evidence suggests that today's humans are descended from a very small population of between 1,000 and 10,000 breeding pairs that existed about 70,000 years ago. However, the Toba catastrophe theory has had heavy criticism, and perhaps a more fitting name would be the Toba catastrophe hypothesis in regards to the link between the Toba event and a human genetic bottleneck, as it lacks sufficient evidence to be held as a credible scientific theory. The Toba supereruption from 74,000 years ago ejected a volume of 2,800 cubic kilometers. That's 2.8 times larger than the Lava Creek eruption of the Yellowstone supervolcano. The Toba eruption also released about 4 to 6 billion tons of sulfur dioxide into the atmosphere, but even the Toba eruption is dwarfed in comparison to the top mega-colossal eruptions. La Garita caldera is a large supervolcanic caldera in the San Juan volcanic field, near the town of Creede in southwest Colorado, United States. The eruption that created the caldera is among the largest, as well as one of the most powerful known volcanic eruptions in Earth's history. La Garita caldera is one of a number of calderas that formed during a massive ignimbrite flare-up in Colorado, Utah and Nevada from 40 to 80 million years ago, and was the site of massive eruptions about 28 million years ago during the Oligocene epoch. A significant portion of what is now Colorado was devastated by the La Garita eruption. The deposit, known as the Fish Canyon Tuff, covered at least 28,000 square kilometers. In terms of scale of volcanism, the La Garita was the second greatest of the Cenozoic era. The Fish Canyon Tuff had a magma volume of about 5,000 cubic kilometers, which is about 5 times larger than the last full-scale eruption of the Yellowstone supervolcano. To put this into perspective, the most powerful man-made explosive device ever detonated, the Tsar Bomber, had a yield of 50 megatons, whereas the eruption of La Garita released about 5,000 times more energy. But it could be pointed out that the energy release of the Tsar Bomber was completed within a billionth of a second, while the volcanic explosions take several seconds or even minutes to complete. It took scientists over 30 years to fully determine the size of the caldera, and La Garita is considered an extinct volcano. Geologists at Brigham Young University have discovered what may have been the world's largest supervolcano, which collapsed and exploded in western Utah about 30 million years ago. The Wawa Springs eruption released about 5,900 cubic kilometers of magma, 5.9 times more volume than Yellowstone's Lava Creek eruption. What happened in the Wawa Mountains is hardly visible to the naked eye today, but underneath it, hidden in plain sight, there lies evidence of possibly the most powerful volcanic eruption in Earth's history. The eruption was so massive, the sky would have been darkened for days, perhaps even for weeks, due to the vast amounts of ash released into the atmosphere, completely blocking out the sun. Because of this, a fitting name for the most powerful supervolcanic eruption on our planet would be Nightbringer. Supervolcanoes larger than the Wawa Spring caldera as a single eruption remain controversial and lack evidence, such as the 3 major supervolcanoes in the Paraná and Etendeka traps, located in South America about 132 million years ago. With Guarapuava Ventura, a volume of about 7,600 cubic kilometers, Santa Maria Fria, about 7,800 cubic kilometers, and the Guarapuava Tamarana, Soruas, about 8,600 cubic kilometers of volcanic material. But their existence as a single volcano is controversial. They were possibly a volcano chain. The Flat Landing Brook eruption, 466 million years ago, located in Canada, is one of the largest and oldest supereruption, with a high estimate magma volume of about 12,000 cubic kilometers. Its existence as a single eruption, however, is controversial, possibly a series of 2,000 plus volcanic eruptions under a million years. Thanks for watching. Did you like this video? Then show your support by subscribing, ringing the bell, and enabling notifications to never miss videos like this.